website is doing a different thing. Anyway, pursuant to the provisions of 2.68.030 of the Metropolitan Code of Laws, please take notice that decisions of the Nashville Public Library may be appealed to the Chancery Court of Davidson County for review under common law writ of certiorari. Any appeal must be filed within 60 days after entry of a final decision by the board. Any person or other entity considering appeal should consult with an attorney to ensure that time and procedural requirements are met. And as far as public comments are concerned, pursuant to TCA 8-44-12, time is reserved at the beginning of library board meetings for which there is an actionable item on the agenda for public comment germane to items on the agenda. Up to 5 people will be allowed up to 3 minutes each to speak. Speakers must register within 1/2 hour prior to the beginning of the meeting by signing their name on a physical sign-up sheet available at the entrance and identifying any agenda item on which they intend to comment. Is there anyone who has signed up to comment today? Okay. I don't have any comments except say Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
We get to start all over again. And the only other thing is I was watching the Vanderbilt football game. I am an alum. And all of a sudden I saw the Civil Rights Room. This was Martin Luther King Day. I saw the Civil Rights Room. You know, they were talking about it on the football game, national football game. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, kudos to our communications department. They are doing it everywhere. So I was surprised, but you know, it was a good gift to all of the country to know that we have that on Martin Luther King Day. They were advertising. Thank you. I'll be glad we can get back in there.
That's amazing.
It was. So the minutes, I told the people at Belmont, I said, we now get a book a book. It's much thicker, and I know it's much thicker because the grants are in there.
Yeah.
So with all the good information that we normally receive, and I hope you are looking at it, because I saw that there's something Edge Hill, you know, I get upset about that, went down 18%, something. We're looking at it. But are there any corrections or additions to the minutes? None.
No.
Okay. We'll entertain a motion for approval of minutes.
So moved.
For approval of minutes. Kate, second.
Second.
Nadine, second. All in favor, say aye.
Question?
Oh, any opposition? Go ahead.
Questions. So let's look at page 26. I'm kind of curious because I was looking at the statistics overall as far as the service and the wonderful things y'all do in the community.
We're doing minutes, though. Can
Yeah.
we just do minutes?
Yeah.
Okay.
This was part of it.
Is this part of the minutes?
I thought it was part of it. Am I?
It's a report, maybe?
You know what?
That's a report. It's
I'm
not-
sorry.
That's okay.
Forgive
I'll
me.
give that right back
It's
to you. Okay.
first day of school at Nashville State, so.
Okay, I'm good. Okay, so we have a motion on the floor to approve the minutes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, Charles.
Yeah, so
Minutes approved.
in the package on page 26, you know, I have to say, you know, I have to give it to the staff. I have to say that Libby is my secret friend that helps me on a personal level and on the health level. Because I'm able to check out books and help improve my chronic disease. So thank you. There are a lot of open positions available, and what are some of the tactics you all are using to help fill those positions?
Susan, do you want to respond since you're?
I'm trying
I don't
to
see
think
Sherry.
There are
about
41 positions open.
So they are posted on Metro's website. And depending on the classification, like for manager's position, we post those all over the country.
Are y'all working with like Nashville Rise or like Urban League of Middle Tennessee?
I believe so.
workforce?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
Well, and Travis, the other thing is that because we have over, 400 staff, we consistently care. It's not that they have been vacant for a long period of time. It's that we carry those because we're such a large organization. And Sherry and her team really keep up with this because we don't want to go into a budget session with the mayor's office and finance and have too many vacant positions.
Right.
There are some vacant positions that we kept and haven't advertised for Maine because we weren't sure like when Maine was going to be reopened.
Okay. That's all I
Is
have.
that helpful?
Yes, yeah, thank you.
And I wanted to look at, so that you all would know, and I know this is public information, so that, because I had a question about page 12, because I was thinking the cursor hadn't been moved over far enough in that last, you see that percentage change?
Oh, right.
20, 24, 25, but I think they explained it. Explain that to us.
So the reason that it's showing an error,
Sorry. So the reason that it's showing an error in that column is because there's nothing in the 2024 column. There was an error with the software, so we couldn't collect the data for that month, and so there's nothing for it to divide against,
Compare,
essentially.
yeah.
So,
Okay,
yeah.
All right. Any other comments or questions about the report? We are looking and reading and looking at. There's so much good stuff in here.
Yeah, there really
And
is.
so many pictures. I love it. Love the data. And I like the pictures because it kind of shows what you're doing. But this is nighttime. What is it? Homework night reading.
Well, I am happy to say, Madam Chair, when I look at page 48 with the IT infrastructure, you know, so me being in IT, I love the fact that you are taking a big push to move everything up to Windows 11. So great job on that.
Okay.
Mr. Larry.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll let Terry take over.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to try to be as brief as possible, but I sent a lot on Friday, so I won't go over everything that I sent. But there's some things that I would be remiss if I didn't mention. The first is we have been talking about technology, Jarvis. The entire Metro has been migrating to Oracle Cloud. And I want to start this meeting by thanking Sherry Adams and the NPL HR team. This migration has been both frustrating and challenging for Sherry and the team and the library staff. Sherry and that team have spent so many hours working to help us make this transition, even over the holiday, Christmas, New Year's, there were meetings and things they had to attend to. And I just, and they also put together 3 training sessions for us as library managers. Also for staff, there was a module for them. So I cannot thank Sherry and her team enough for everything that they've done to help everybody get paid, because that was a big deal. So my second thing is that I want to say congratulations to Annie Herlocker. Since yesterday was a holiday, Annie's first day as a new assistant director for innovations, collections, and technology is today. So I'm gonna, I know that Annie will prove to be an asset to our leadership team. I've worked with her in the past when I was in branches, and she was a branch manager and then a regional manager. But I thought I'd let her introduce herself and just say a few words about her experience. Getting ready.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the introduction. So I am very excited to be here and to maybe give a little bit of background about myself. I served as the collection development coordinator for the Rutherford County Public Library System, where I oversaw the collection for a 5-branch system. From there, I moved into an assistant director position at Clarksville Montgomery County Public Library, and then I've been at MPL for about 10 years. So I started at Richland Park, then I moved to Bordeaux, and I've been at Bellevue for a couple of years. So I'm ecstatic to be here. I'm ready to get started, and thank you so much for the opportunity.
And Annie's going to give us she's on the agenda later to give the overview of Bellevue since she's transitioning and there's not a new branch manager yet. So thank you, Annie.
Welcome, Annie. Welcome, Annie. And while we're clapping, can we give Sherry and the team? I think it just underscores what we keep saying about the staff at the library.
They do whatever to get it done.
Yes.
Nights, weekends, and holidays. So the next thing that I thought I would report on is the main update. That everywhere we go, that's everywhere we get asked about it. So, again, I don't really have a lot to say because we're still depending on the restoration company to lead us to a safe reopening as quickly as possible. Were you going to say something, Susan? Okay, sorry. You brought
Just
your
prepared.
microphone down?
I'm just prepared.
Okay. So we met with them last Thursday so that they can provide us with an update. They have received the stamped drawings. They have hired their subcontractors, and now they will begin the work on the fire safety systems. So we'll continue to follow their lead, and please know that all of us are eager to reopen the main library as soon as the restoration company gives us a date. And while the restoration company's process is out of our control, I want to talk about what is within our control. Our staff, speaking of the library staff, is committed to serving the community no matter what. So, for example, our operations staff relocated the delivery of books and materials within days of the June 10th fire so that customers could continue borrowing from the collection. In fact, we ended 2025 with more than 6.7 million books and materials borrowed. By moving it to Southeast, that also allowed for all the new books and materials to not be sitting in boxes, but actually, out for customers to be able to check out. Branch staff have kept services like job search support, notary, and tech going. They've offered hundreds of free programs for our annual summer reading challenge. They've continued strong programming this fall and winter. And after collecting more than 3,200 pounds of food during Metro Nashville's 2025 City Food Drive, branches are actually keeping the second harvest donation boxes open throughout January because we know this is when food bank donations tend to drop off after the holidays. I want to thank Mark Crowder and Brandon because they actually loaded that 3,200 pounds of food and delivered it to Second Harvest. And I don't know how they did it, but they did. Meanwhile, Maine staff have taken programming to the branches, community sites, and online. In fact, since June 10th, Maine staff have brought more than 540 programs to more than 160,000 people. This even includes our archives and book clubs, to our civil rights room, the Votes for Women room, and Equal Access Division, and also programs for children's and teens. So I want to say that, no one wanted this emergency closure to happen or to last this long, but we must continue to rise to this challenge. And I'm so proud to do that with this staff. And I'm grateful to our customers who continue to stick with us and go and visit they are visiting our branches. Maine staff have said they see those familiar faces out in the branches that they were used to seeing at the main library. And I couldn't ask for a better team or better customers. And there is, even though there was something, on the news last Monday about the parking garage, there is no update on the parking garage. So that's what I have to say about the main library.
I have a question.
Yes, Rosalind.
How are we keeping the general public advised as to being rerouted to the various branches? Are there any public service announcements or anything like that?
Andrea, do you want to talk about that? I will let marketing talk about that.
Sure.
Hi, Dr. Carpenter. Would you repeat the question for me, if you don't mind?
How are we keeping the general public advised of how and where to go for library services that they generally would get at the main branch?
Folks are following us on what I call the big socials for National Public Library, which is Insta, Facebook, X, and Blue Sky. They're very likely also following branch socials and receiving branch email newsletters, so they're aware of services that are happening at their preferred entry point for the library. We've been in touch with news media since 4 a.m. on June 10, and continuing on. They've been really good to us in terms of including consumer news you need to know, how to use the library and what's happening operationally. And then, of course, on our website, we have a pretty lengthy rundown of here's what you need to know, here's what you need to do. So I would say between the citywide marketing, news and information function, earned media, and then the hyperlocal news and information function that we invest in a lot, generally speaking, the impression I'm getting is that people feel good about knowing where to go. And we are, I did report at the top of this process for the June board meeting that main staff who had deployed pretty rapidly to other locations are reporting that they're seeing their frequent flyers there. And we are noticing that book a librarian services like notary and test proctoring, for example, are picking up and still happening at other locations. So between what we're seeing and then the customer feedback that at least I'm seeing and receiving, I feel reasonably confident that customers have not experienced too much whiplash, which I think is really at the heart of your question.
And the Office of Homeless Service has been working with us. They send me daily when there is the cold weather shelters are opening and things like that. They send me that information, and then I forward it immediately to our library staff so that they can help our customers that are using the branches instead of me know where they can go during this cold weather.
To add to that, OHS, which has had a long-standing relationship with Nashville Public Library, this certainly isn't new, but they have stepped up their presence in branches, including at North and other locations that are within a reasonable bus ride or walkable of the main library, which is something we've really appreciated as well.
Thank you.
And with Green Hills and the library, now, well, go ahead then.
No, that's okay.
I'm sorry, no.
No. I was just going to also mention next that our Green Hills branch did close this month. This has been a long planned renovation. It's a over $4 million renovation. And we were too far along with that renovation to say, oh, now that the main library is closed, we can't close the Green Hills branch, because then the costs go up, based on the delays with contractors. And we all know that state that we're in with everything going up all the time. Mm-hmm. So the staff right now are packing to prepare for the contractors, and we hope to reopen that library in December. So
what would you have us say to the many people who ask us about Maine reopening and the parking garage, over which we have no control, but we're certainly impacted by?
Right. I would just say, Kate, that until we have more information, we can't really, because it's not within our control, and the contractors are doing the work, that until we have a date, I just don't want to put something out into the universe, because this process has changed so frequently throughout. First we were told one thing, then we were told something else, then it's something else. So I'm just really hesitant. I would just say that we are working on it, and we want to get in as quickly as possible. With the parking garage, again, it's the two options. There's either using the 3 floors that's closest to the library, or they have to totally demolish that garage and start from scratch. So, but either way, our customers and staff will be impacted by the garage. So Susan has already found another garage on 4th Avenue that is a half a mile from Main Library for library staff. And if needed, we will do a shuttle for 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours in the afternoon, because a half a mile in the heat and the snow and everything else is a lot. So that is part of our planning process. Keith, did you have?
You said they were going to start, that they've got the drawings, whatever that is, stamped by somebody, whoever that is.
The architects.
And they're going to start now.
Yeah, they started
When?
last week.
So they have started.
Yes.
And they have, okay, and so how long is this going to take?
Well, that's the question we all still would like to know. I am working with
Do
them.
they know how long it's going to take?
I don't think,
Is this their only job? I mean, they have diddled around with this thing now forever.
so I did talk with Kristen Wilson in the mayor's office on Friday to make them aware after we had the meeting on Thursday. And this week, I sent an email yesterday hoping to meet with our general services department head and procurement because they are a Metro vendor. You know, we have to go through procurement to put pressure on them to get the work done. But I'm doing everything that I can to make that happen.
I'm sure you are.
We never did
But-
change the procurement process, though. See that? See, you back
It's once
to-
again,
See, we're
you
back to
can't,
where we were.
you know, I mean, we can't even function as a board because Metro is so, hinders what we're trying to do so much by not, somebody's not doing their job. I mean, there wasn't that big a deal about the library having smoke in the library. They could have done that by now. This
Susan,
is-
can you talk to the second part, though, because it was a big deal?
It actually was a big deal.
Well, it's a big deal that it's still closed. It's even a bigger deal that it's still closed.
But it's a big deal that we have to get this fixed in order for the fire marshal and Metro codes to let us reopen.
Well, I've been telling people it'd be June or July.
Yeah, well, it could be.
Well, it probably will be because they'll take umpteen vacations between now and then. They'll have a whole bunch of holidays they have to take. They have to do spring break. They'd have to not work, so our patrons don't get to use the library. Somebody's not doing their job.
Oh, you want to update us?
Well, when they had to tear apart the conference center area, there was things that were found that now that it's open and exposed have to be corrected. That was unforeseen, and it is a process to get it repaired, but it has to be done, and that's what we're doing right now.
And we've been really fortunate, both Metro codes and the fire marshal, anytime we've needed them to go over, they've gone within 24 hours. And so, you know, we're doing everything we can on our Metro side.
And there's nothing we can do as a board.
And we didn't have.
If we come back to a meeting in February, if we do, you're going to say the same thing, right?
Could be. Hopefully not, but I can't sit
Hopefully, we'll
here
have more
and say.
information and more update by that time. But they just started last week on the fireproofing, so.
Well, this is a fireproofing company. This is not a contractor.
So what's happening is there's some fireproofing that has to go on, and then the final assembly after the fireproofing has been completed. At the same time, those areas that are not affected by the fireproofing, they're getting the subcontractors in place to start the, for lack of a better word, putting back together renovation of the conference center area simultaneously.
Have we had to go before, like, planning or anything? We haven't had to do any of
Now,
that.
we got the architects on board so that we have the stamp drawing, so all of that is in place. It's ready to go. The finishes have been picked. It's now a matter of getting the subcontractors in there to perform the work, to do the finishes. And what we've been told is what they can work on that doesn't require the fireproofing side of it, that will be going on the same time that the fireproofing is. And once the fireproofing is done, then that part will be done. So they're trying. They're doing.
Okay. We keep interrupting your report.
No, it's okay. I mean, I know everybody has questions. I can be, in Mount Juliet and I get questions about the main library. So besides the Green Hills renovation, the other thing I want to call out is Anna's here today. And I just want to say we had the NASA 15th anniversary celebration. So congratulations to she and her team, to Linda. The Nashville After School Alliance I mean, that's a major milestone, and they celebrated it on December 17th with more than 120 guests gathered at the Adventure Science Center to celebrate the anniversary. It was great. Thank you to the board members that supported us during that event. And, you know, Mayor O'Connell was there, former Mayor Dean was there. So it was a really, really great celebration. So another good thing to report on beside the main library. The last thing, Cameron is here today, and he oversees NECAT for us. And I want to say that they have some really wonderful news to share about NECAT, which is our local network, Nashville Education Community and Arts TV. They're part of the Nashville Public Library. They have been nominated for some local Emmy Awards. So since NECAT is part of Nashville Public Library, that means that when customers join NPL, they not only get access to more than the 2 million books and materials, free programs, and helpful resources, but they also get an entire television network and the programming that you won't find anywhere else. So Cameron and his team have dedicated themselves to elevating, I have to say, over the last year, programming on the NECAT network, for which I'm grateful. So one example is how closely they worked with Brett Wilson and Wishing Chair Productions to take Wishing Chair shows from the stage to the screen, notably Wishing Chair's production of Goldilocks. So Goldilocks made its debut on the Wishing Chair stage in May of 2025. NECAT then worked with Wishing Chair to do a television adaptation for the show, and it included scenes that you won't see anywhere else except on NECAT, and it will now exist permanently independent of Wishing Chair as a rotation of stage and puppet truck performances. So I'm proud to share that NECAT was now nominated for 2 Nashville Mid-South Emmy Awards for this televised adaptation, first in the audio recording, mixing, and design category, and second in the musical composition arrangement category. The award ceremony is February the 14th, and we will all be cheering on Brett and Cameron and their teams. So, Cameron, do you want to say anything?
Sure. I would say I think this is just a really great example of a great collaborative experience. All praise to Brett, who wrote a fantastic show, and his team, obviously, who I don't have to tell anyone in this room how great Wishing Chair is. I will say Linda Harrison did a lot of legwork to help us get this Emmy thing rolling. Had some meetings with her, and she was just really championing that. Larry Jerick, of course, who isn't here with us in the room right now, but has done a wonderful job just championing NECAT and keeping the conversations between me and Terry open so she knows what we're doing and she can convey it back. And Andrea Fanta and her team, who has done a great job in just keeping the news out there and being so supportive of us all the way through. I will say this at the end of this meeting, because handshakes and pats on the backs always happen. Please don't give them to me. Give them to Mr. Travis over here. He's the one who will be taking the trophy home if we win it. So it'll be on his desk for display, and we're very proud of him for that. So, yeah, congratulations to all people involved. Wonderful experience.
That's awesome.
Okay, that's my report.
Thank you. Great report. Sean.
Right. We have a couple special events coming up. One, we have Picnic with the Library, and we are hoping to have you all consider being a part in some way. The plan is still for us to be at the main library. It is in April, and so we will also, though, be starting just to explore a plan B, just now that we're getting a little bit closer to that date. But for now, it is still scheduled at the library. But would love for you all to consider being a part of that in some way. Another thing I want to take a few minutes to talk about is our Carnegie Society. Some of you are Carnegie Society members. This is our annual giving society, and it's $1,500 or more to be a part of Carnegie Society. And we have 2 events coming up that it's for prospects. So if somebody is potentially
interested or wants to learn more about Carnegie Society, it's a chance. One is coffee, and one is cocktails. So one is in the morning on Wednesday. Let's see, next Wednesday, January 28th. And I can get you more details about the location, but that's at a board member's house. Or February 12th, that's the cocktails, and that will be at Baker Donaldson, 5:30 to 7. And would love for you to be thinking about if you know of people who might be interested in supporting the library. This is a really fun group, and it's a fun way to be involved. We will have a book club just as a stewardship opportunity for our Carnegie Society members. So if you are a member, great, thank you. But would like you to, I'm not going to just leave it there. I'm going to also ask you to consider who else do you know that might be interested in being a part. I know you all are talking about the library all the time in your circles, and answering the question of when is Maine going to be open. So you can also flip that back and just say, we'd love to have you be a part. And there's a lot of things the library is doing in the community outside of Maine. And this is just a great way. Our support for Carnegie Society is unrestricted support. And that is really important as we're entering the budget season right now. What happens is as we look at the budget requests that come from the library, there's certain ones that we feel really confident that we can support, whether it's our certain programs that we know there's funders for. But then there's other things that there's needs of the library or we don't have a specific donor for, and that's where those unrestricted dollars are really important. And so our Carnegie Society is a way for us to be able to provide to the library that unrestricted support that can kind of help fill in the gaps of important programs that we have not been able to fund specifically for, or if there's a particular need that comes up throughout the year that Terry and her team realize. So would love for you to consider being a part of Carnegie Society or helping invite people to attend. And like I said, it's January 28th at 9 o'clock is a coffee, and it's just to learn about it. So we're not going to be collecting money at that time. It will just be a chance to come and if you have friends who might be interested, or on February 12th. The other thing I wanted to mention is you've heard us talk about our ambassadors. So our ambassadors are a part of our advocacy group, and we have ambassadors that represent all parts of Nashville, and that we've identified ambassadors from each of our branches, again, to make sure that every branch has a representative. Those are oftentimes the people we call on when it's a Metro Council meeting, when it's budget time, but we also are trying to find ways to engage with the ambassadors kind of outside of that and outside of having them have to be downtown at prime rush hour time at 5 o'clock. And so what are other ways? In February and March, we'll be holding gatherings at 6 different branches for our ambassadors. So we've picked trying to spread out into different geographic regions, 6 different branches, and that will be a chance for the ambassadors to come together to learn more about what's happening with the branches in those regions. Again, if you know of somebody who wants to find ways to support the library and kind of be on our list of who we can call on when we need the voices to bring support, it's a great way for people that it requires more of their time than their money. So we'll take anybody, whether it's they have money to give or time to give. There's an opportunity for them to truly support the library. So if you have questions about that, I would be happy to answer those questions as well.
Do you have any description or anything that we can send emails or something that kind of brands these roles that we can share?
Yes, I would be happy to, particularly for the ambassadors. Or I also have invitations for the Carnegie Society
So I've seen those,
Okay.
and I feel comfortable to share those, but I haven't seen the ambassador
great.
one. Okay.
I can maybe get that to Emily to send out when she does the follow-up minutes. Thank you.
Can you share how close you are to goals with the Carnegie Society for
This has
year?
been a great year for our Carnegie Society. We are 69% to goal for this year. And of course, our year is the fiscal year, July 1. So we are kind of, if you are mapping it out, we're ahead of where we are hoping to be. But thrilled at that. And Claudia Schenk on our team is the one who's really driving that. And Claudia will never be satisfied with, like,
She's
so
amazing,
if you
Brian.
know Claudia, she
She's
will keep
amazing.
pushing. And so even though we have this year 41 new members, she is going strong for trying to find some new prospects and new members. So to your point, we're doing well, but she is not letting her foot off the gas at all.
Well, we need to help her, so if
Yes,
y'all know
that would
of
be great.
anybody. Yeah. And you might be in a position where, I know in a former job, sometimes you can't compete against your job or something like that, but if you have, just send those names over to Claudia, to Sean, because they will pursue, so, yeah.
Yeah. And I had a question just about the date of the picnic. So that April 28th. So please let me just confirm that's sorry, April 26th. The afternoon, 3 to 6. It used to be 4 to 7, but realized with some of those younger ones
Yeah.
on a Sunday night, so it's now 3 to 6
Okay.
on April 26th.
So when do you need to make a decision about whether or not you're in Maine?
Soon.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the meetings, Terry's has some important meetings this week, and so that will help us. But we'll start to look, I think it's only wise to be looking at a Plan B, just with it being around the corner.
Okay. We have Anna next. Our contracts. There, so we're gonna go to page 106.
All right, well, good afternoon. Happy New Year, everyone, and thank you for having me. So it's the time of the year when we appropriate additional funding that we received for summer programs last July. So today I'm here to request approval for 5 contract amendments so that our partners can expand their programming to 5 MDHA public housing communities this June and offer 4-week summer camps to youth in those communities. All recipients are current NASA partners who have applied for these additional funds through a supplemental funding opportunity call and whose audits allowed them to receive additional funding. We have worked with MDHA Resident Services to identify the locations. I hereby request an approval for allocating $224,320 to serve 170 youth with the following distribution. AAOC Camps for Youth Development will receive $32,000 to serve 20 youth at Cumberland View. Aspiring Youth Enrichment Services will receive $112,000 to serve 70 youth, 20 at J.C. Napier and 50 at Sudicum Apartments. Bethlehem Centers of Nashville will receive $25,600 to serve 20 students at John Henry Hale. Carnegie Riders will receive $24,000 to serve 20 youth at J.C. Napier. Rock Life Youth will receive $30,720 to serve 40 youth at Preston Taylor, total of 170 youth. We do have additional funds to allocate, so I will be back next month, but we committed funding MDHA camps on a priority order before we allocate the rest of the funds. And these were the locations that MDHA identified that have facilities that could support these programs, host these programs. So I hereby request your approval. Thank you.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
I will
Okay.
second
Yeah.
that.
All right, Jarvis second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Maybe I came to your celebration, so I should know this, but how many kids are you serving there?
So this year for after school, we have 1,750 slots funded for after school and about 900 for summer. So this is going to add to the summer number, additional 170, and we're hoping to add additional about 100 slots for the next round of funding. So it would be about 1,100 summer and 1,700 something for after school. And we usually have more kids coming than what we found because not everyone stays for the whole year. So the number would be over 3,000.
Amazing. Thank you.
Yeah.
It has
Really
really
great.
grown
Alright.
over the years. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Did a great job.
Anna.
Thank you for your support. I appreciate it. Thank you.
So the Williamson Edmondson art donation, Jahan and Mark here?
I don't think he's here.
Mark is not
Was
here.
here. I saw him.
Mark is usually everywhere. Wow, okay. Well, page 160.
I'm going to introduce you quickly to Jahan Mahdi, who is the manager of our Edge Hill Branch Library. She has built a really outstanding team at the library, giving them the vision and energy to be able to really serve that community well. So today we get to share something special and fun. We have an art donation to this library. Is a portrait of William Edmondson, who's the celebrated artist that's from the Edge Hill community. The piece is really a tribute to the neighborhood and the rich culture of the neighborhood. And I just want to say the admin team has already reviewed and approved this to go forward and come to the board meeting today. Okay. So Jahan?
So just really quickly, a description of the piece. Again, it's on
I'm
page
talking
160.
to the mic. Lower your mic so we hear you.
Is that better?
Yes.
Yes.
Page 162. This charcoal portrait of historic Nashville artist William Edmondson was created by Nadine Shillingford as part of a live demonstration community artwork at the William Edmondson Cultural Festival, WeFest, on October 28, 2023. WeFest is an annual free arts music fair held in the Nashville's Edge Hill neighborhood on the site where William Edmondson lived and worked in the 1930s and the 40s. Edmondson was a self-taught limestone carver, the first African-American artist given a solo show at the Museum of Modern Art in 1937. Shillingford's drawings of some of Edmondson's work are located around the border of the piece, and then also the attendants of the festival were invited to color them, making this truly a community art piece. The piece has been archivally framed by Woodcuts Gallery and Framing in Nashville, and the proposed donation requests that it be displayed in the Edge Hill Library branch, which is directly adjacent to the William Edmondson home site property, as a source of pride and inspiration for all Edge Hill residents.
So moved.
Second, got a second. Kate again. Who?
It's very beautiful.
Katie?
Yes.
It's Katie?
Thank you.
And then Kate. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, we have it. I just want to tell you too that Jahan has hit the ground running because they had, two tables at the Christmas party for the Edge Hill area. And, it was full of kids and what were they doing? Making ornaments and all kind of stuff over there. So they were a hit. So they are definitely active in the community. Thank you. All right, Terry and Susan.
Okay, so I just wanted to make sure that before we hit send on February the 6th to enter our operating requests for FY27, that that we would talk about what are the operating requests for NPL for fiscal year 27. Susan and her team right now are entering the requests that are normally due mid-February, but about a week ago, we learned that it's February the 6th. So we're asking for the following items. The first one we are carrying over from last year as a part of a 3-year plan. So last year we were able to get the 7 positions for our neighborhood branches to bring us up to the state minimum for staffing. This year we will ask for the 2 library associates for Bordeaux so that they would be, so that that the regionals will be brought to the state standard or minimum. And then next year, there'll be 3 positions for our community library. So this is what the budget office asked us in finance, was to spread these requests over 3 years so it wouldn't impact all at one time. The second request is moving the materials budget to operating, but because this is projected to be a flat budget year, we will ask for this amount in both operating and 4% requests because we really don't know that this will be something that that Metro will be able to afford this coming fiscal year. The third thing that we're asking for is a system-wide program manager to coordinate adult, teen, and youth programming. This position will coordinate series programming around the system, oversee large NPL initiatives such as our summer reading program, and support the programming committee. While this position would report to Maine, it will support programming needs for the branches as well. Because if you all remember, probably 3 years ago, we did have a system system-wide programming position. It was not a manager. It was basically organizing programming around the system so that we would get a better deal, that it was more coordinated. But that was through our NPLF funds. Chantel and Jenna came to our budget process and advocated for this position. And also during our customer service with our staff, that survey, that came to the top as well. So we really think that with the amount of programs that NPL is doing, we really just need somebody to coordinate that for the entire system that would work with like for Maine and for the branches. The fourth thing that we're asking for is a program specialist for our Be Well program. Bassam runs that program. He is the only person that is oversees plus actually does the programs, and the numbers for his programs are just continue to grow, and the demand continues to grow. So we will ask for a program specialist to assist Bassam. And then the fifth thing we're asking for is a program specialist for our digital inclusion program. So this is the program that, again, these are both in Linda's area. The Marion and her staff go out and do, digital education, mostly for seniors. And again, we're just not able to meet the needs and the requests that are come to Linda because we don't have enough staff. So we're asking for a position for there. Again, we will ask for moving our bookmobile positions from NPLF funded through our Dollar General allocation to Metro, because again, the bookmobile is really like its own branch, and so really needs for these to be Metro positions. We did ask for this last year, but it was one of the only things that we did not receive. But if we do not get these positions, we will continue to fund them through our NPLF unrestricted funding. And the last thing we may need to ask for is that shuttle service for main parking. So if we can't use the parking garage, like I said earlier, we will need to provide a shuttle for staff parking. How we get to these items, the 7 items, is that the admin team, we met all the way back in November. Everybody brought forth what they felt they needed for their programs in their department, and then we vote on it as a leadership team. And so I gave these to you in the order in which we did them. Yes.
I have a question. And I think this, I know this was addressed in our meeting last month, but I'm forgotten the answer, so I want to make sure I have it straight in my head. On collections, number 2 on collections.
Yes.
We're going to be asking for that money in both the operating budget, which is the new way, and in 4% fund. Going forward, will we always have the opportunity to ask for both, or is this our last chance on that?
I would say if we get the funding in operations, we would not ask for it in 4%
Right.
any
I mean, we wouldn't
longer.
ask for it twice, but if we don't get it in
We'll
operations,
continue.
we will
Yes.
continue to ask for it in 4%.
Correct.
Okay, thanks.
And we've discussed this with our finance department during our December meeting with them.
That's the way I thought I remembered
Yes.
it, but I do want to make sure.
Good clarifying question. Thank you.
Here, the person that's going to be all over system-wide programming and education, that person would be a part of your admin team?
No, and so it's not at that level. It's not an assistant director position, but it's a program manager. They would report to Chantel at the main library. As,
Oh, I thought you said they would report to you.
No, I did? Yep. Sorry, I didn't mean that they would report to me. This is what, I don't need another person. Okay, no, this actually, Chantel and Jenna would work collaboratively together, but they would report to Chantel.
Thanks for asking that, Keith.
Yeah, sorry.
Any other questions?
And so how much of an increase is this over last year then?
You know what? I don't have the numbers in front of me
You
because.
don't have a total number?
Right. Well, I mean, we do. Susan would know. It's just that I didn't ask her to prepare that. We can let you know, Keith. I can send it.
I can get that for you.
Just how much of an increase, I mean, these 7 things are in addition to what we've already got, right? So how much of an increase does that amount to?
Don't know off the top of my head, but I will get that for you.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I'm
Yeah.
sure we'll
You don't
be
have to do
asked.
that. Just get it to them.
Or
That's
ask me
okay.
next month and I'll be sure to tell you.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and Sherry worked with each of the requests, the person, the administrator requesting. So we do know these were all due to Susan on the 9th, and so we do have the totals that we can get you.
And if you just send us the increase and what it's for, because people do ask, the council people, when we run into
Sure.
them.
Sure.
Happy to do it.
I'll do a
thank
summary
you.
for you.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Library card sign up. Andrea.
Good afternoon. I want to thank Chairperson Cersei and the board for giving me time on today's agenda. For anyone in the room or watching who doesn't know me, my name is Andrea Fanta, and you've heard me hopefully say before I have the best job in Nashville, which means I get to lead marketing and communications for Nashville Public Library. I'm going to press on. In September 2025, I did give a mid-campaign report to the board on our then National Library Card Sign-Up Month campaign. I promised then Chairperson Cersei to return post-campaign with the full report, so I'm here now to deliver that briefing. There's a lot to go through, and I want to prioritize time for your questions and reflections, so let's get into it, and I will walk you through. I'm a show in and of myself, so don't stress out about this. When it comes up, it's going to come up. All right, I'm going to cover today the basics of the campaign, strategy and results, an abbreviated SWOT, and then we can move into discussion. So starting with the basics. This was a campaign to win new customers citywide and also with a geo-targeted focus that I will get into later. This was first, we are now on the who slide. Lake Horton, here's a who. Yep. And I get credit for that book reference. There we go. Perfect. All right. So this was a campaign to win new customers citywide and also with a geo-targeted focus, which I will walk you through here in just a minute. It was first and foremost a new customer campaign, but I do want to point out that it was indirectly a way to celebrate existing customers for already being a part of NPL. Next slide, please. This was an in-house integrated marketing campaign. By now, hopefully you all are used to seeing those coming out of my shop, saving all overhead costs. We did set a goal for this of 4,000 customer acquisitions or library card signups in September 2025. I do want to thank our colleague Emily Kriebel, who consulted with us on that goal to set it as a reasonable stretch goal. I see Dr. De La Rosa smiling because she does love a good goal. Since NPL typically does do 3,500 acquisitions a month without any special marketing effort. Next slide, please. I'm going to talk you through the citywide and hyperlocal aspects of this campaign. Next slide. But let me bring you really quickly to the why and spend some time here. So a customer acquired for NPL also means a lead acquisition, which is a clean email address acquired, not paid for, and not a bot, but a real person's email address that we then use for remarketing throughout a library customer's lifetime with NPL. I do want to remind you also that a lead acquisition for citywide NPL marketing means a lead acquisition for our hyperlocal marketing, meaning marketing coming out of the branch to which a library is library customer is geo-mapped. So the preferred point of entry that we were talking about earlier. Thirdly, it means a lead acquisition for the Nashville Public Library Foundation, and that's thanks to a marketing addendum that we negotiated as part of the NPL-NPLF MOA that exists between us. So my counterpart at the foundation, Christine, I like to call it the virtuous email marketing cycle. I might be the only one who likes to call it that, but I'm going to say that she humors me as well. So in other words, you come to NPL and you get NPL news, specifically a 10-drip welcome series, and then you get the warm transfer to NPLF without a direct giving ask attached to the initial onboarding experience. And as I mentioned, if you're already a library customer and you're seeing paid and organic marketing content celebrating the value of owning a National Public Library card, that means that one more time you have felt seen, valued, and understood by the library, and I always count that as a customer retention win. I don't think we should take any of those for granted. Next slide. So for the 2025 National Library Card sign-up campaign, we ran a stream smarter concept focusing on one of our most key value customer propositions, which is free streaming and downloadable content without having to pay the other guys, as we like to say. Metro Law did ask us not to name the other guys specifically, so we keep just a general mockery going and available 24/7 on demand. So before I go further into my report, I do want to touch back on a question that Mr. Simmons had asked when I was presenting mid-campaign to you in September, which is how NPL's percent of population card ownership stacks up nationally. If you'll give me a moment, we can take a look and walk through that. So a comparison of like-sized library systems in other metro areas puts us in middle range. And we actually bump up higher if you consider that Cuyahoga County's numbers likely include a large number of non-resident or shared service area cards in the Ohio area, and my understanding is that that's common to the Ohio public library system. So altogether, I think we're doing well mid-journey, but of course we could always be doing better. Moving into the strategy for this campaign. Now, as always, what you'll get from NPL is an in-house, full-time integrated marketing team and a full suite campaign with no overhead cost. So we're talking socials, earned media, print, design, photography, web, and email marketing. We did also invest above the fold for this campaign with a socials ad buy and a billboard ad buy. I do want to note that because that is not always possible. We don't always have the budget to do that. And I do want to thank and recognize Kyle Barber and the the FY25 Workplace Culture Committee for contributing financially to this campaign. I want to prioritize our time together, so I'm not going to take the board through outputs and outcomes per channel. I will report out that across channels for this campaign, we netted the following. Total reach came in at above 10 million. Total engagement came in at more than 81,000. Ultimately, for more than 14,000 clicks on the library's Get a Card page in September, which brings you out at about a 4.7% increase year over year. I do also want to know that total ad value equivalent came in at more than 1.5 million. I know that some people in my line of work consider AVEs or ad value equivalents to be anachronistic. I do not, because we are not rolling in ad dollars, so we're always going to always take the win. Moving on, let me walk you through very briefly on how we measured against this campaign goal. So here's where we were on September 2nd. We came in at just more than 3,100 acquisitions. And then moving on to September 29, we were sitting at just more than 3,400.
These are cumulative numbers, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. By September 30th, we were sitting at just more than 3,500, and then grand campaign total. I am comfortable taking credit for final kind of lingering effects of a campaign. So we ultimately came in just shy of 3,800 acquisitions as a result of this campaign. I'd like to move on to a quick macro analysis. Here's what these numbers tells us. One, we retained our typical monthly numbers. You'll remember that I said at the top of my presentation to you all that we generally do 3,500 library card acquisitions across the system in a month without above and beyond marketing effort. I don't take those for granted. Customer acquisitions do not happen by accident, and they really don't happen because of marketing, as fabulous as my team is. They happen because of library staff across Davidson County who are on the front lines of library ambassadorship day in and day out at branches and in the community. Two, we did win back some of the walk-up library card registration numbers we would have seen in a month at the main library if the main library was open. So I'm pleased with the macro results, and I do want to also go into the micro results because I'm relatively pleased with those as well. So here's what I mean by that. You all that know that Mayor O'Connell has set a standard for everyone in Metro Nashville government to use data-informed strategies for our work when we're dealing with city resources. Along that lines, we worked with Metro ITS to identify areas of Davidson County where we do have lower market share, and we targeted those areas with a socials ad buy. I'm pleased to report to you that we did, in fact, increase market share in all 6 of these zip codes. In fact, of these targeted zip codes, we saw an increase from September 2024 to September 2025, so year over year. And just to keep ourselves a little more honest, we did in every zip code but one, so every zip code excepting this 37211, see a market share increase from August 2025 to September 2025. The reason I'm mentioning this is because you need to know we are a public library, so we do not have the creepy, with all respect to my peers, pixel that is going to follow you from a social media ad that you see and then track you across the web to make sure that you went to the Get a Card page and then actually converted. So I cannot really truly take all credit or do enough of an autopsy to let you know that the campaign is to credit for this market share. Relying on common sense and knowing how the campaign performed, I am cautiously and reasonably comfortable taking some credit for that. So one of the most important things you're going to hear me say today is as you look at nearly 700 new customers in 6 zip codes that map to at least 7 branches, you are looking at the fruits of the labor of our colleagues at branches for the work that they have put into this campaign and continue to pour into the library every day. You've probably heard me say this before. A marketing campaign at Nashville Public Library is going to live or die with our branch staff. They really leaned in with us at an already very busy time, so I want to take a moment to thank and recognize them. We're coming to a close, so I am not going to do an entire SWOT for this campaign. I am going to do an abbreviated version and focus on 2 things, what I think we did right and what I think we can do better next time. So quickly moving through what we got right. We did hone in on a winning key value, customer value proposition. We do have campaign collateral and messaging that can be used year-round, a data-informed approach. We had great support from actual human beings. You heard me brag about the staff already. I do want to thank and recognize Mayor O'Connell for supporting the campaign on his socials. Vice Mayor Henderson and Metro Council really leaned in on the campaign. In fact, it was on my list to call the Vice Mayor's office to ask if she'd like to collaborate with us for a second year, and she called us before we could call her. That probably is not good that I wasn't more on it, but it does look good that her appetite is there. She actually did really help us out over the holidays too, and post on her socials that a free Nashville Library public card is her wish for everyone in Nashville, and a great gift. So I want to thank her and her staff. Again, none of this happens by accident, and it doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't happen because of marketing. It happens because of the work that our colleagues do across the library system. I also really want to thank Nashville Public Library Foundation and the ambassadors for leaning into the campaign and supporting the campaign with us. So for Campaign 2.0, please look for incentives, more campaign merchandising, ways to take the campaign a little more 3D in-house, and a broader influencer base. Before we move into discussion, I do want to just close by saying, and hopefully you all have heard me say this before, anything that you see coming out of marketing that you don't like is a reflection of me. Anything that you see that you do like is a reflection of my very talented team. They're very dedicated and darn-hard librarian staff. So for everyone here and everyone watching, if you all were inclined in the coming days or weeks to send them a quick note, they are Allison Price, Joan Brasher, Katie Gillen, Eddie Patton, and Matt Fox. You can email them or you can email me. I'll be happy to send it along. And again, thank you for your support. I'm happy to, ready for your reflections and questions if you have any for me.
Thank you.
What was your goal when you started? You said
4,000.
4,000.
Came in at 3,800. So again, anything that fell short is on me. Anything that went well is is a credit to the team.
That was an increase.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah.
Ambitious goals are a good thing. So.
I think it was a reasonable stretch goal since we do 3,500. I mean, obviously we had, in running the SWAT, we were up against a challenge, but I think we rose to the challenge because you can look at the numbers and say that we did retain some of those walk-ups that we would otherwise see at Main in a month. So that was a really good takeaway for us.
It's like you said, it was so nice sitting. Nadine is smiling and grinning the whole time doing this. I know this is a reflection of the work she did too, yeah, but.
I just want to say thank you for being so thorough and taking us through the journey of your goal, what occurred, where you fell short, some limitations, some strengths. I am a fan of this work, your ability to storytell and to really consider what your limitations are and to work around it, because that's the part that you didn't echo as much, but we could tell in it. Impeccable. Thank you for that. That was solid.
Thank you. I appreciate it. We have great support system-wide, and I do want to.
This is great.
And this was great.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Travis is next.
Data-driven.
Thank you.
Data don't lie.
Thank you.
And then Kate?
Yeah.
No, your value proposition I thought was terrific.
It is one of our best sellers. Ryan Darrow at Donaldson Branch will tell you it's one of the selling points that performs the best and really kind of gets a reaction anytime he talks about it. And our staff definitely lead with it. I think it's something that we knew all along, kind of from a common sense perspective, but to be intentional and use the chrono peg, the time peg we had to be talking about library cards in the collective consciousness and focus on this one and put some imagery and some actual dollars behind it, I think went a long way.
Anybody else? When we hear you, you know what I just wish that I know can't happen? That somebody you could do this before Metro Council to show and be an example for what we're doing across and what to do, how to collect the data and how to get better. And not take it personally when you just fall short, but you have to set that high goal. Yeah.
I would hazard a guess that any level of competence I have, I'm assuming that I'm outperformed. So I don't know how instructive it would be, but I'd be happy to share information at any time. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Annie, welcome aboard. Annie, you're next up. We're so glad to have you.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
I know.
Must have hit that salad. I wish you would do that for big camera.
It needed.
Well, welcome to Bellevue. We're happy to have you on this very, very cold day. Okay, so I'm going to give a brief overview, and I will keep it brief, of the last calendar year here at Bellevue, just some highlights. We can go ahead. Go. So for those of you who may not know, the old Bellevue branch was built in 1984 on Collis Jean Road. It was about a fifth of the size of this current location, and we shared that location with the fire station. And then New Bellevue, or current Bellevue, our grand opening was January 29th, 2015. We are a 24,580 square foot building. We are Silver LEED certified. And around this time, well, actually around next week, last year, we were celebrating our 10th anniversary. So we are now in our 11th year operating in this beautiful building. We also have 4 beautiful public art pieces in this location. We have Great Beginnings up here on the left by Beverly Stucker Precious. We have Rise Above, which are the beautiful hand-carved wooden birds that were actually carved from a tree that had to be removed from the premises during the building process. Both of those projects were coordination with Metro Arts. And the Rise Above by Brenda Stein, she's actually a local hyper-local patron to the Bellevue area. We also have a donation from Susan and Luke Simons, the alligator sculpture, which you'll notice out here by the children's area if you happen to walk by it on your way out. And then this year we were really lucky to acquire a really special piece that was actually partially grant funded by Bellevue Foundation of Middle Tennessee and partially Friends funded. Local artist Andy Rudloff worked with us with some ideas that we gave them about our local community and created an outline. We kind of went back and forth on that to get the final outline, and then we turned it into a community event, and we had patrons from toddler to senior got to actually fill in the color, so make the color of the mural, and then she kind of finished it, and it's now between our kids and our teen area. So we really needed, we have a beautiful building. It's very well lit, but we wanted to add a little bit of color. Thank you. And I'm not going to go through all these stats because you can see them, but I'll highlight kind of the top of each slide. And this was actually put together by our wonderful adult associate, Liz Mosselman. So I want to give her the credit for that. So this past year, 2025, our staff here at the Bellevue branch have led over 1,000 programs, 1,032 programs. And that's with a total of 22,503 patrons attending. And you can kind of see the other stats there, and we'll go to the next. Thank you. And then how we serve with our collection. This past year, we've created 3,224 library cards, or in other words, an average of 9 cards a day. So it's a lot of new library cards flowing through this branch, and you can take a look at the other stats there. Let me also highlight pulled 69,642 holds, just about 3,300 holds per staff member at this location, per current staff member. So it's quite a bit, and I put that picture on there because you can really see out front, you don't see that, but in the back, it's a warehouse, right? So there's this whole 2 different operating systems going on at this location and all of our high turnover locations with materials. Go to the next. Yeah.
What gets those 9 people in the door? We talk about new library cards.
Yeah.
What makes those people walk in? Do you know where they come from? Are they obviously from the neighborhood, or?
We get a lot of people that say, we moved to the area, we're here to get our card. So a lot of people that are moving into Nashville or around Nashville, we've noticed definitely big numbers coming through, even in the past few months. Actually, since the summer, our attendance on our programs just through the roof. And we thought, well, it's summer, that makes sense. It always kind of goes high through the summer, but it really hasn't. It trickled down a little bit, but it's just stayed high. So I think that Bellevue area is another one of the areas similar to like Hermitage, where people are just moving into. Maybe they already lived in Nashville and are moving elsewhere, or they're just coming in from out of the city.
Or maybe a direct reflection of the marketing campaign we just
There
heard
you
about.
go.
Right.
There you go. Yes. Yeah. How we serve within a teen capacity, we average about 30 events per month. So our teen team is in the teen room every single day that school is in session, offering a program. Some days they're offering 2. They're offering ACT prep in their normal prep, or they're offering music program. We average about 7,500 in attendance. And they also do summer programming as well, so it isn't just through the school year. And that is a picture from our 10-year anniversary program that we did. Next, thank you. How we serve ages 0 through elementary, again, about 30 average events per month, but attendance is going to be much higher on your elementary, so that's over 12,000 attendees for a calendar year. And then that photo is our bubble program that we do. We did this twice in a row. This was our second year, and it's incredibly popular. It's right out back here, actually by that other sculpture, and they come with music and bubbles, and it's a family fun. Yeah, we're lucky that we have a large building, but we also have some green space to be able to do this type of programming. Oh. It is, yeah, just non-toxic bubble. We definitely put in the description on that one, bring your towel, bring a change of clothes. And then how we serve adults. And this is Daisy in the photo. Our Paige and Deborah are one of our adult associates. Also average close to 30, about 27 average events per month, which is an interesting number when it comes to adult programming. Adult programming inherently can be a little bit more tricky to get your attendance, but we do really well here. Total attendance for 2025, about 4,798. And so we're able to do all of these averages with the programming due to our staff. We have a phenomenal staff. They love doing what they do. They have high expectations for themselves. They love to add more programs. And we have a high demand, which speaks to the new cards. We have a high demand for programs for each single age group, which is interesting. And then next slide. Turn my page here. As I mentioned, about this time last year and 6 months prior, we were gearing up for a big 10-year celebration. We had our council people out, Vice Mayor Henderson. We did a 10-year proclamation for the building, which we actually have on display when you're walking out. We have it right out on the door. We also took that as an opportunity to launch a t-shirt campaign to try to raise some money for our programs. A lot of our adult programs are paid programs. Next slide, thank you. Try not to look back and forth. And then we also, we are kind of farther out. We had to drive a little bit to get here. So we have some civic services that our patrons really love because they don't have to drive all the way to the center of the city to get what they need. We have licensed renewal kiosk, which is actually right around here. And then we also have, you may have seen it when you enter the building right in the front lobby, the tag renewal kiosk. We also serve as a voting location, and coming up this fiscal year with 3 elections. So our patrons, that's another way we would capture new patrons, right, is people coming in to vote. So last slide, thank you. Thank you, Travis. This is our last slide here. We are also lucky that we have a Friends of the Bellevue Library group. So we have a very well-established Friends group that helps us out with raising money on those twice yearly sales. We're able to make about $2,500 for each book sale twice a year. We have an in-branch sale that we run. We make anywhere from $500 to $800 a month. Again, that all funnels into our supplies, new things for the children's area, interactive toys, educational puzzles, and also a lot of our adult programming is paid. And then our summer program, like you saw, the Bubble program, that's a paid program. All of that goes to that. We have t-shirt fundraiser, bag fundraiser, magnet and button fundraiser, all with designs created from a local artist right here in Bellevue, who's also a member of our Friends group. And we've been kind of putting that out there a little bit all year. That's all I have. Any questions?
That's a lot. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Any questions? Any other business? Anything else to come before the board? If not, I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
So move.
Tyrus, motion. Any second? All right. We are adjourned, folks. Thank you. It's a good meeting.
How's my boy? How's he doing?